Welcome back to Banzy Gaming, and this is Rating 5, where we break down big games under 5 minutes. Today we're looking into Crimson Desert, the upcoming open world action RPG from Pearl Abyss, the creator of Black Desert Online. From massive battles to crazy physics combat, this game is starting to look like one of the most ambitious RPGs in the year. But the big question is, can Crimson Desert compete with open world giants like Red Dead Redemption 2, Assassin's Creed, and The Witcher 3 kinda big games? Let's rate it in 5. First up, let's talk about world and graphics. Okay, Crimson Desert built on Pearl Abyss' new engine. The visual looks absolutely stunning. From huge medieval cities to giant battlefields and mountains and landscapes, the world looks massive and incredibly detailed. The lighting, weather systems, and the environment physics makes the world feels very cinematic. Now, if we compare this to something like Red Dead Redemption 2, that game still sets the gold standard for immersion and realism. Every NPC in Red Dead Redemption feels alive and the world reacts naturally to the player. So Crimson Desert definitely looks visually next gen, but we still don't know if the world will feel alive and interactive. But purely from the graphic standpoint, the game looks extremely impressive. I'll give 4.5 out of 5 for this category. Next up, combat. Honestly, this might be the biggest highlight in Crimson Desert. Unlike slower RPG combat systems, this game looks extremely dynamic and physics driven. You can grapple enemies, throw them into objects, perform aerial attack, and chain together with brutal combos. Some of the gameplays even shows characters smashing enemies into walls and using the environment during fights. Compared to the Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which has solid but somewhat repetitive combat, Crimson Desert looks much more fluid and chaotic. And comparison to Witcher 3, which focused on tactical swordplay and abilities, Crimson Desert seems to push more toward fast-paced actions. So if the gameplay matches what we've seen in trailers and the other videos, this could easily become one of the most satisfying combat systems in the open world RPG. So in this category, I will give at least like 4.7% out of 5. That's fairly reasonable value for that. Another interesting thing about Crimson Desert is the variety of gameplay mechanics. From what we've seen so far, the game includes exploration, climbing, horseback combat, stealth mission, or even large-scale siege battles. Some gameplay footage also shows environmental puzzles and physics interactions that add more depth to the exploration. Games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla already offers a huge amount of activities across the map, but sometimes those work can start to feel repetitive after a while. Crimson Desert looks like it's trying to mix different gameplay styles together to keep things, like it's fresh. If the final game manages to balance all of these systems, well, it could deliver a very rich open world experience. So far I can give it 4.3 out of 5. The next is story and setting. Crimson Desert takes place in a dark medieval fantasy world called Piver. In here, you will play as a mercenary named Cliff who becomes involved in a conflict between different factions across the continent. The story seems to focus on war, political tension, and survival in a brutal world. However, when we compare this to games like Witcher 3, which is famous for its incredible storytelling and memorable characters, Crimson Desert still has a lot to prove. For now, I can give it like 4 points out of 5. Crimson Descent has already experienced delays during the deployment, and we haven't yet seen a full uninterrupted gameplay experience. So I would say another big question is the performance and the optimization, especially which is such a detailed open world, and with all those graphics and eye-catching physics, I don't know how much normal PCs can handle. So it's always a question, but like performance and optimization is another thing to concern. Many open world games launch with technical issues. I would say we don't want to get that experience from Cyberpunk. That gives like a Crimson Desert an overall rating of 4.4 out of 5. If Pearl Abyss delivers everything that they've shown so far, this could become one of the biggest RPG releases in the next few years. If you enjoy this quick breakdown, Make sure to subscribe for more Rating 5 reviews on upcoming games. This is Banzy Gaming, and I'll see you in the next one.